Can you be 100% certain it was Reshona Landfair on the sex tape? Can you be 100% certain it was R. Kelly on the sex tape? Can you be 100% certain that the female on the sex tape was under the age of 18? We will explore that in this video. Are there females who are 19 and 20 that look 14 and 15? Jada Pinkett is one. Stephanie Mills is another. You have very petite women who are not tall, who do not develop at the rate that the average woman does. Do couples engaging in sex role play? Do they pretend to be different characters in order to add spice to their sex life? If you go on Pornhub, or if you look at any pornography, sex tapes, you will see role play is a major component of that. And oftentimes it is this scenario of grown man with schoolgirl, but the female is legal. She just makes herself appear very young and speaks very young. Reshona Landfair was given immunity. She also gained financially and was allegedly given a Section 8 apartment by the feds. They had her in their phone as Boss Baby. What came out in court was a private investigation done at the time said there was no inappropriate sexual relationship between Reshona Landfair and R. Kelly, and that Barry Hankerson, along with Sparkle and Demetria Smith, were trying to ruin R. Kelly. Sparkle, Stephanie Edwards, hated R. Kelly after she cut ties with him in 2000, before the tape came out. Reshona Landfair told law enforcement in an interview with DCFS in 1999 that there was no inappropriate sexual relationship between her and R. Kelly. And Daryl McDavid, Robert's accountant manager at the time, took over after Barry Hankerson was fired. And he was convinced Barry Hankerson was behind all of this because Barry is the only one that knew about Tiffany Hawkins. He said, how else could this have come out? It came out in court that Val, Reshona's mother, was going by the studio to see him on a regular basis. She went under an alias in court, calling herself Susan, admitted to have a type of relationship with Mr. Kelly that brought her to the studio by herself. At the time of the trial, when Reshona was on the stand, Sparkle herself did a video and was tweeting that Reshona was lying, and that she was lying because they were forced to testify. Her aunt is saying this. Sparkle is saying this. Lie under oath all the time. They did it before under oath in the 08, in front of the 08 grand jury. So if they feel she was lying then, you're saying she's lying now. The stories are not consistent. That says Reshona Landfair is a liar. And this is coming from her family. And it's obviously listed in court documents because the statements that she's made oppose each other. Tasha K, on her interview with Natasha Simona, stated Reshona Landfair was putting money on R. Kelly's books in 2019. She was putting money on his commissary. That says she was still in a relationship with him. She still had feelings for him. She still loved him enough to not only support him verbally and with words, but to also put money on his books to make sure he was okay in jail. And Tasha K would know because she had his jail records, which a BOP officer gave her illegally. Reshona was asked under cross-examination. He continued, meaning her father, to work with R. Kelly even after the trial. She said, yes, that's right. And even after you broke up with him, meaning R. Kelly, you kept going to R. Kelly concerts. She said, yes. Under cross-examination, Reshona was asked, you told an assistant state's attorney that you didn't know if R. Kelly had relationships with young girls. Jane admits she has made false statements to the U.S. Attorney's Office. You made a false statement to the U.S. Attorney's Office. R. Kelly didn't tell you to tell that lie. You told that lie. And Reshona says yes. Jane was asked under oath, and it was your aunt who released that tape. I'm sorry? It was your aunt that released that tape to Jim DeRogatis, right? To my understanding, yes. Sparkle? Correct. Her name is Stephanie Edwards. Uh-huh. And you testified yesterday that she, Sparkle, told you to sit on his lap, rub his head, and ask him to be your godfather. Correct? Correct. And as godfather, like code for something, because I'm confused, like what does it mean to ask someone to be your godfather? Well, again, if you look up to somebody that's within our race, and you look up to somebody and you say that term more casually, that's just a way I feel like she was introduced me to be more like close to him. I see. And to be clear, it wasn't Robert that asked you to be his goddaughter. It was you that asked him to be the godfather because Sparkle had said you should do this, right? Yes. And in looking back, you've said that you think Sparkle was pushing Kelly on you. Isn't that right? Yes. In fact, you believe that Sparkle used you as bait with Kelly. That's something you opined about, right? Yes. When Surviving R. Kelly came out, Reshona reached out to R. Kelly and in a phone text wrote him, I love you, don't let the devil win. Reshona's mother, Val, admitted that she had been a huge R. Kelly fan, loved his music, almost groupie-like behavior, and she would go to the studio frequently by herself to spend time with R. Kelly. And it appears that was sexual. Reshona also admitted under oath to being sexually involved with R. Kelly and his wife. You also had a sexual relationship with his wife, right? Correct. 2 witnesses in the Chicago trial who alleged they were minors, Pinky and Brittany, extorted $35,000 from Mr. Kelly. We're going to go out there and say, you did that to us if you don't give us $35,000. That's what the evidence is going to show. That's called extortion. And I'm not saying that Mr. Kelly didn't have sex with Pinky and Brittany, is what his attorney was saying, but they were not minors. That came out in court. A woman named Sparkle tried to blackmail R. Kelly over a record deal that fell through, Glassman says. Glassman blames Sparkle for spreading the allegation that R. Kelly had sex with minors, an allegation, Glassman points out, that Kelly's alleged victim, Jane, repeatedly denied. Glassman alleges that Barry Hankerson, Aaliyah's uncle, tried to pay at least one woman to falsely claim that she had sex with Kelly while underage, and in 2002, he made a threatening call saying that a tape was coming that would ruin Kelly. McDavid suspected a setup.
If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.